Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. This week on the show, we speak to Kris Hoet, who heads the innovation initiatives at FCB Global. Before slipping into a break, he spoke to us about how brands can intelligently use technology to solve problems. Now he speaks about some of the work done with great ideas which was heightened by the use of technology. Let's find out more.
I spent a few minutes watching your presentation, and I saw a few very simple ideas on, shall we say, creativity embracing technology as well. You know, Land Rover, the banner, for example. So if you can take me through a few pieces of work where you think there's a perfect example of a big idea or a good idea, which is heightened by the use of technology or embracing technology. Preferably work that you've done.
Yeah, so I'll focus on some of the work that we've done. One of the ideas, so we did some work for Toyota on the Toyota IQ, which was the smallest car of Toyota had. And instead of focusing on all of the advantages and features of the car, we focus on the key feature, which is agility, because it's so small in the turning circle. So we did 2 campaigns that involved that creativity and technology together. Was where we'd seen that in Belgium, Street View had launched, and then because you have Belgium, you know, it's an old country with old cities and small streets. Too many streets were too small for the Street View car to go in. So we fitted out a Toyota IQ with the same gear as a Street View car, so we could do those small streets, and everybody could, you know, so tap into something specifically and make sense of it into a space that is Street View that people were just discovering. So that was a nice example.
Ask you again about something I saw, which is, you know, the use of a dead app. You know, there's an app which is of no use. It expires because it's an app for an event, and you found a way to repurpose that app.
Yes.
Yeah, for you know, organ donation.
Yeah.
So tell me how that worked, and you know, tell me therefore what are the other possibilities of using dead apps that you can think of?
Well, that was just very specific to that scenario. So you're thinking about, we got to make sure that people understand how they got to sign up to be an organ donor and what organ donation means. You know, you get people, give them a new life. They're basically waiting so they can extend their life until they have that organ. They're counting down to, you know,
to death.
So, and so they're specifically the idea of working with the notion that festival apps or
event apps
that they will get, people keep them, but they have no use anymore. So if we can do that same, but that specifically works for that idea.
Sure.
So it's very tied into, but you understand some behavior that you can creatively tap into to make that message.
By now, have you thought of any other campaigns that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, we had a front for a website called secondhand.be, which is sort of like the local affiliate of eBay. So it's a classifieds website. And what we've noticed was that is the most popular classifieds website in the country. When people share classifieds with each other, they'll share a link. And most of those conversations seem to have moved to messaging apps like Facebook Messenger, iMessage, and so on. And so you're talking about something, maybe I have a car for sale, and my friend says, I know somebody, and I send them, and it's a blue link. And that becomes very unappealing. And then we've noticed that when Apple, in whatever iOS update, launched the iMessage apps, so you could actually make stickers like you could do somewhere else within iMessage. And so what we did was, you could turn any of your classifieds that you had on your account, you can, within the app, turn that into a
graphic,
clickable sticker.
Right.
And the stickers are clickable. So it literally would cut out your car or your whatever it was that you were selling, and so when you share it with a friend, it sort of fitted natively in the context of that conversation.
Right.
More handy, you could add words on it.
Not ugly blue lines.
Not ugly blue lines, you could add a funny word on it or whatever you wanted, like a graphic element, and so you would share it and then share it further, and it's clickable, so if people click on it, they obviously get to the mobile side version of that classified. But it becomes a more native way to use that, knowing that the conversation about these things moved into that space. And so you just use that knowledge to go there and make sense of it. So that's the things where I think it becomes really interesting.
You know, you've been in India now for 4 days or 5 days, and in India we're still deeply entrenched in the television commercial, in television as a powerful medium.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a kind of resistance to change overall, and for good reason. There's a safe money. So what have you seen of your India trip? And a lot of people here certainly say that if you can make a TVC, well, use it on digital, for example. Take the same thing, repurpose it. You have a point of view on that?
Yes, I had a really funny conversation actually a few days ago where somebody asked me, how do you do mobile first?
Right.
And so I give some explanation how I thought you should do it. And I said, yeah, but how do I make my TVC mobile first?
Right.
And I said, well, then it's not mobile first, so it's a TVC first, right? So you cannot make if it's mobile first, it's made for it. It wasn't something else before.
Right.
And I think part of the challenge in the change lies with that. If you say digital first or mobile first, it means your thinking is there. It means that it's tied into behavior that sits there, that you understand, and you think about working out the idea in a format that lives in that space.
Right.
Like the stickers I just said,
Sure,
that's mobile
absolutely.
first, that live in that space. They're
Absolutely.
made for that.
Or digital first at least.
Yeah. So, and I think that's a bit of the challenge, but there's very easy things to do. So that would mean that you look a little bit about better understanding what the digital behavior is, how people change the way they make things or choose things, and you tap into that. That means that if you say, I have a big idea that has legs, that can live in any space, okay, prove that to me by showing it first how it lives in a space that is not TV, right? So if the idea is really big, then show me, but not showing me a script.
Right.
Will likely make TV, because it's part of the thing, but if it's bigger, then you got to be able to prove it somewhere else. So this is a small exercise and sort of try and rewire the brain a little bit. And then we say TV is a safe bet. Well, that's, again, I'm not sure if it's a safe bet. It's because we're accustomed to the fact that that is what it does.
It's a comfort zone.
Yeah. And I think what we need to do, but therefore, we need to understand the full potential of how the whole world has changed because of this and how this narrative has changed. But we need to give, and I think that's a big task that I've observed in India, is we need to give more reason on why we are in these why we're using those technologies. So we don't really have a lot of reason. We do it because it seems to be like a thing we need to do, so it automatically becomes an afterthought because we consider something others more important. And I think if we really understand behavior, and you see how people's behavior, maybe in how they change, choose a color to paint, whatever has changed, you give way more importance to some of these technologies that have influenced that to actually then do something with that technology. Yeah. But it has a reason. It's not something you do because everybody else is doing and therefore you do it as well. No, you've seen it makes a lot of sense in a specific way, and so you tap into that.
In the conversation we've had so far, you've used the word behavior about 15 times.
Yeah.
That's about 15 times more than I expected to hear. So, it is because, on thought we talk about creativity and tech and not behavior so much on the digital side or the tech side. And that's refreshing. And then explain to me what a marketer needs to do to understand the importance of understanding digital behavior of the consumer.
Well, I don't necessarily.
I don't think many marketers think in that line.
Yeah, and I don't think you'd even need to understand per se the digital behavior, but I'd want to understand total behavior. So behavior has changed, right, and it's always been changing since the beginning of time, which is fine, but we see that it's changing exponentially. And we see that it's changing exponentially because technology is changing exponentially. So the technology has to be a big driver because the lines are moving in the same direction.
Right.
So if I want to make sense to consumers with my advert, I'd like to understand behavior first. So one example would be an example on FCB in Chicago that works on Valspar, which is a paint company. And they've noticed, first of all, a problem that is a problem paint companies have all day long. It is there's too many colors to choose from. They need to have all of these colors, but you start and there's like a million and it's really difficult. And so what they've noticed is that people are making changes in how they think about home decoration and choose of paint. So one of the things that people are doing more, for instance, is they are using Pinterest to make boards where they put up all of their home decoration ideas. Right. That's it, rather than whatever they did before. So
what did they do before?
I don't know what they did. I don't know. I didn't live then. So it's probably cut out stuff or whatever, keep booklets but we've always tried to get our inspiration or maybe visit more stores. But you'd like to understand that behavior. So you see that is happening. And what you see is that it's interesting because Pinterest is sort of like a database of intentions. Where social is sort of what I'm doing now, and Google maybe what I want to do in an hour or in a week. Pinterest is what I want to do in the next 6 months or maybe even a year, whether that's travel or home decoration. So people are pinning things about, say, the new bathroom. And what Valspar with FCB understood is that when a person is pinning inspirational ideas about that bathroom, they're not pinning yellow bathrooms if they want a white one. You don't do things that you don't like. So you make subconscious color choices. So they made an application that would analyze a specific pin board of a user, so you could choose any board, and then would analyze the key colors in that board, and then you could send the chips, so the actual like wooden sticks with the paint on, you could send those to your house of the analyzed 5 colors as the key colors in your board. So helping you get into the color choice and then driving the actual conversion, because they knew that if I get a little chip with a color in a person's hand, the conversion rate of them actually buying my color goes up by so and so.
Right.
But I understand the behavior.
Now I'm going to come to the last question, and I'm going to give you a free opportunity to plug yourself. So talk to the CMOs who are watching the show and tell them why they should invite you the next time you come to India to make a pitch to them.
Okay.
And that's it. So tell them why. So the CMOs watching the show, tell them why they should invite you. I mean, not the FCB clients, they're already your clients.
Yeah.
The non-FCB clients, why should they invite you for a pitch? Not a pitch, why should they want to have a half-an-hour conversation with you?
Because I think we have a provocative, or a little bit more of a provocative view on what the impact of technology is in driving better ideas, and better ideas that will make your clients or prospect behavior change. And I think we have a bit of a unique view on that. And every time when we're invited to talk about this, we see that it sort of gets people to start thinking and help them give some clues or handles on what it is by small steps that they can go to the big steps to actually not only with their campaign but also with their internal teams or their marketing teams try and drive some of that change. And I think that's what that does. So I'd love to do that everywhere.
Thank you. Fantastic talking to you, and have a great trip in India.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back same time next week. See you soon. And here is wishing you a Merry Christmas.